Hi, this is Raygun.
And una mariposa del barrio. Jenny Rivera, if you will.
If you will, yeah. No, this is Cristina and Carmen. And Espooky Tales. This is our last episode of random costumes. Oh, yeah. If you're on video, you have to see
Play
Carmen's.
The song.
I can't. Copyright,
Mariposa del barrio.
But yeah, Carmen is a Mariposa del Barrio. I'm going to miss October so much. I love recording in random ass costumes.
Me too. It was probably my favorite thing. I'm so glad we thought of it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, the minute the Olympics were over, I was like, let me search for a Reagan costume.
Literally, yeah. It was still summertime, right?
Yes, and I bought this, like the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
And it arrived like, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
I can't believe it took that long.
Yeah, I was afraid it wasn't going to get here. And then the hat took even longer. This got here like last week. It's a little funny shaped, but whatever. Worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. I was going to do a Halloween 5K. That's not happening because I haven't been running enough. So.
Oh, and you were sick.
But this was going to be my costume for that.
Yeah.
That's not happening, but it's still worth it for just recording with it on.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do a different costume on Halloween Day when you
Yes, I'm going to be Velma.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I still running out of time here, but I need to do my trunk or treat.
Oh.
For my child's school.
You know, you have 30 minutes. You have a week.
Yeah, and it feels like 30 minutes. I was like, 30 minutes for what?
I know. I saw you like kind of like taking forever to respond. And I was like, did you forget the meme already or what?
But you know what? It's gonna happen. I make last minute Halloween things happen all the time. I actually haven't even put my decorations out.
I don't like that.
No, me neither. I don't know what's going on. Well, I was sick for like, I don't know, a week and a half.
That's true, but it was already the middle of October.
That's true. I don't know.
I start late September.
Normally, October 1st, I'm putting them already out there.
Milo has joined us.
Oh, hello, Milo. But yeah, I don't know what happened this October. I'm gonna put them out tomorrow though, because I can't not put them out. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
You might as well not. It's almost over.
I'm gonna do it, and then it's gonna stay there until the new year. Anyway,
that's what I'm saying. Just don't.
No, I need to. Anyway, moving on.
Okay. Right.
A listener story. If you have any stories that you want to send into the podcast for us to read, you could email espookytales@gmail.com. You can DM us on any of our socials. You can submit it on Discord. A lot of options. You can call the Spooky Hotline. That's another option. So yeah, Carmen, you ready for the listener story?
Yeah, and this is from our Discord from Running on Coffee. I have a short story that I recently remembered. I used to live in a rural town in Southern California. So when I had recently moved in, I met my neighbors. They were in their late 60s or early 70s. They were really nice and mostly smoked weed, so they were chill and laid back. Well, come to find out, the wife had, I believe, bone cancer. They wrote the word, and I don't know how to pronounce it.
Okay.
Osteosarcoma.
Yeah.
So because of the cancer and she didn't want to go through the chemo due to her prognosis, so she smoked to relieve her pain. Well, months later, we were kind of concerned that we hadn't seen them. Upon returning from a getaway that my husband and I went to, we found out that the husband killed his wife and himself.
Oh.
You know, it's not what I expected.
Me neither.
I thought he was going to die of cancer.
Wow. This turned dark really quick.
I don't know if it was related to the cancer for the murder-suicide. I don't know either. Probably not. Anyway,
or maybe they had like an agreement, you know?
I guess maybe that could be true. Hard to say. But we could see my neighbor's dad. It says we could see my neighbor's dad, older man, come. But we could see an older man come and clean the outside, and we would offer to help, but he always said no. It was just so sad and all. Here comes the spooky part. A few weeks later, my husband and I come home at like midnight or 1 a.m. from an outing, and we hear chains rattling, like tables. So we call 911, like shit, maybe someone is ransacking the place. I told the dispatcher, hey, like I think someone broke into my neighbor's house. She says, what makes you think that? So I explain, it's empty. No one's occupying the house. She says, maybe they're moving furniture around. And I tell her, ma'am, my neighbors committed murder-suicide. And they were like in their late 60s or 70s. And the dad is even older. Also, it was the dad when I said that earlier. When I said older man earlier, it was the dad who was an older man. The dad of the man in the late 60s or 70s. So he must have been like 90.
And he's moving things around.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'd rather be dead at 90 than be moving my dead child's things around.
So, yeah, they're in their late 60s or 70s. The dad is even older. How the hell would he be throwing tables and chairs around at this time with the lights off? So she said, we'll send an officer over for a wellness check. This emoji.
Okay, got it.
And that was a face palm and shrug.
Yeah, for those that are not watching, Carmen was acting out the emojis.
Yeah.
But it was a face palm shrug emoji combo.
Well, needless to say, no one ever came by and the house went up for sale. Those neighbors that moved in were really nice and got a super cheap house, and they cleansed it before and never experienced anything paranormal. It was just sad overall. Also, my neighbor on the other side of us also had osteosarcoma and died. And a year later, the nice little Mexican lady across the street from us also passed away. But she was also blind and older too.
That's
After
weird.
that, I told my husband, hell no, we're in next, and we moved out.
That's so odd, though. Wow.
Yeah, it is.
First, super creepy, but also very odd that everyone died.
Yeah, very creepy. Also, like, what was the rattling stuff?
Yeah. What was all of it? Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I forgot to say before you read the listener story, but we are sharing some possession stories.
Oh yeah, we didn't even say what today's episode is going to be about.
Possession stories. This is going to be a shorter episode because I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I'm sick, it takes like 3 weeks.
It takes you out.
Yeah, out. So this is going to be a little shorter, but we do have 2 possession stories. The first one is a little shorter, and then the second story is longer. So the first one is from a YouTube channel, Culto a la Noche.
Ooh.
And it was titled Fui Exorcista. Este fue mi peor caso. For my Spanish challenge friends, that was, I was an exorcist. This was my worst case.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just get into it. So, and these were sent into those channels, like the person telling their own story. So I will be reading it in that manner. I think most of the time we do like third person.
Yeah.
Type stories, but today, first person. So I worked as an exorcist for 20 years. The following is a case that forced me to retire. It still keeps me awake.
Oh, no.
It was 1998. I was called to work on a case in one of the nice parts of town. It was always rumored that there were satanic cults performing rituals to keep this part of town so nice. I walked up to the apartment complex. It was dark. I knocked, and a 20-year-old woman quickly opened the door. Please help him. I didn't know it would get this bad. She showed me where he was. The smell was horrible, and when I finally saw the possessed young man, it was worse than I thought. He was bloody, all from self-inflicted wounds. It was hard to see his face, but I'm guessing he was around 20, like her. I gathered my thoughts and got started with a prayer. When I began, he started to look at me and gave me a smile that still haunts me. He started laughing and laughing and laughing. I threw some holy water on him. Sorry, this just makes me think of the movie.
Visual, like, yeah,
like Salt Bay, but with holy water. I threw some holy water on him, and it evaporated as it landed on him. He broke free from his restraints. I would have quit.
Mm-hmm. Call someone else. Call the next person. Call the Vatican, bitch.
Yeah. He broke free from his restraints and started walking toward me. Then he stopped. He said,
"Let's make a deal. You let me take these people to hell and you walk free."
I'd be like, yes.
And yeah, I would honestly take that deal.
You have a deal.
Seaway. I thought about it. I had never faced anything like this. I didn't know how many people I would be condemning if I took the deal. Would it even be my fault? No. The possessed man told me I was running out of time. Then I said, I accept your deal.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
No. What kind of priest is this?
Well, he said he's an exorcist. He didn't say he's a priest.
You're right. I just assumed they're all priests, but you
know
what? No. My vision was fading in and out, but before I passed out, he made sure that I could see what happened next. The woman that opened the door for me, he grabbed her, held her in his arms. Then he pulled her head off. Then I passed out. I woke up in the hospital. I don't know what became of those people.
Oh, well, probably the same thing as that woman.
Oh my God. I got better eventually, and I tried to move on. But when my nephew turned 17, he started acting weird. One night we were watching TV and he turned, looked at me and laughed and laughed and laughed. And I knew that laugh. It was the same demon from all those years before. He was back. I don't like that it ends there.
Oh, that's where it ends?
That's where the story ends.
Oh my God. Well, what happened next?
He probably
pulled his head off. And that's why that's the end of it. And it was actually the demon who wrote it up.
He actually wasn't able to finish the story. Yeah, you're right. The demon typed it out after. The possessed nephew typed the story up. The priest or exorcist was no more.
Don't like that.
Yeah, that was a creepy one. No, thank you. We can take a little ad break here. Okay, and we're back. The second story that I have for you is from a YouTube page, Pactos Siniestros.
I love that name.
Sinister Pacts.
Yeah.
This one was titled Jamás juegues a la Ouija.
Oh,
Exorcismo Real en Mexico. Never play the Ouija board. Real Exorcism in Mexico. That's the title. It was sent in to that channel. So, are you ready? This one was very creepy.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I heard your call for Ouija board stories and I convinced my mom to let me send her story in.
Not a mom story.
These are the creepiest. If your mom really has a scary story, you know it's the worst.
Yeah.
/ best. The worst in the best ways. So, she used to work cleaning homes. She never had a paranormal experience before this until she did. One of the homes she cleaned in was owned by a man and his wife, and they loved all things horror movies, anything creepy.
Cute.
One night she was working late cleaning their house, and they had gotten back from some sort of yard sale. As my mom was busy cleaning, they called her over. They told her, "Hey, take a break. Stop working so hard. Just sit with us." They had set up a Ouija board that they had just bought at the yard sale.
I'm sorry, this seems exploitative.
Yeah, right? Like, there's a power imbalance and
how are you
How are
you going to force your employee to play the Ouija board? Like,
right.
There should be some kind of law against that.
No, I agree. She sat down with them because she was tired. She was like, whatever, I'll play. I don't just want a break. Maybe she wasn't getting breaks.
Oh my God.
So she agreed and she joined them. They started asking the typical questions, all of them touching the planchette. And so typical questions like, is anyone here with us? The planchette moved, YES. The wife yelled because she, was like scared. But my mom, she thought her boss was moving the planchette. Then slowly, the room started getting colder and colder. As the couple began to ask the next question, my mom felt the room get darker. Suddenly, it sounded like someone sat in the chair next to her. She was afraid to turn, but when she did, she saw a shadow figure in the previously empty chair.
Oh no.
It turned to look at her, raising its dark hand to its lips, making a shh.
Oh, I was picturing this. Me.
No, that's me. That'd be a little silly. This is scary. Shh. This hey, not scary. Yeah, it turned to look at her, raising its dark hand to its lips, making a shh motion.
Yuck.
My mom ran out of the house.
She's like, I quit.
But she didn't properly close out the Ouija session.
Oh.
You're supposed to say goodbye.
No.
It even says say goodbye. Never forget to say bye. The next day, she went back to work. Personally, I would not have gone back to work ever, but she went back. Her bosses were still in bed with zero energy. My mom, though, she felt great. She had so much energy. She finished cleaning so fast. She didn't even have her cup of coffee that day. And she felt this great for the next 5 days. She didn't even need to sleep, but she looked great. She didn't look like she hadn't slept. She was stronger, faster. Then on the 6th day, while at work at the same house, she fainted.
Not the 6th day.
Right? The couple heard the thud as she hit the floor. They tried to wake her up by waving some alcohol under her nose. As they did that, suddenly she looked like death. The ojeras under her eyes were suddenly there because they weren't there before. But on top of being there, they were just terrible. It looked like she hadn't slept in days. Her skin got so dry and shrivelly. She suddenly looked so skinny. She looked like death.
Wow.
In summation. So they took her to the hospital. She stayed there for 1 day and then they told her, take 2 weeks off work and then you'll be fine. On the 3rd day of this, she felt a little better. But then she got way, way worse. She started to wake up crying and screaming, saying something wanted to take her to hell. She started hearing voices when she was awake. These voices told her to stop eating, to not drink water, to not leave her house. She had to stop working. Me and my siblings all had to go to work for her. She started fighting someone we couldn't see. It was always around 3 a.m. She felt like someone was trying to take over her body. The voices she heard insulted her and forced her to hurt herself. This went on for 5 months. She was pale, her lips were dry, she didn't eat anymore. We never left her alone. We took her to different doctors, psychiatrists during that time, and nothing worked. They kept saying nothing was wrong with her. We took turns watching her at night. One night at 3 a.m., always, we heard a terrible scream, along with the whinny of a horse. When we got to her room, she was standing on her bed, doing nothing. At least that's what it looked like.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it was dark. They opened the door. She's just standing in the middle of her bed. No. Me caigo y me muero. We called to her, Mom, are you okay? It wasn't until we turned the light on that we realized she was actually floating above her bed.
Oh my God.
Her eyes were all black, and she laughed and laughed.
Every word that you said got worse and worse.
It was her voice, along with the voice of a different man. Her mouth got bigger and bigger as she laughed, until her jaw dislocated. Then a spider crawled out of her mouth. Her face! It just gets worse.
Oh no.
I was frozen in fear. My brother grabbed the spider and flung it toward the wall. My mom passed out after this. We took her to the hospital where, like always, she was just given some IV fluids and released.
She was floating. What are her symptoms? She was floating. She was floating above her bed, and then a spider crawled out of her dislocated jaw. And also, she has 2 voices coming out of her. What is a man? Okay, here's an IV trip.
Pretty much, yeah. So they sent her back home. We got home that night and helped her in bed. That's when I noticed she wasn't herself again. This time her eyes were yellow, and she did it again. She laughed and laughed and laughed, and her jaw was dislocated again. This time insects began to fill the room. We decided to restrain her with some belts that were lying around the house. My little sister cried and cried, telling us to stop. We had no choice. My mom kept asking us, Mijo, why are you doing this? My babies, why do you hurt me?
That's not your mom, girl. Or
no,
boy.
No, mija.
Mije? Mijite? This is not your mamite. I'm sorry. I'm just saying that because of that video that I thought was hilarious. When she's like, papitas? Están mal, papitas?
It wasn't my mom's voice. Then she started insulting us, telling us she was going to drag us to hell. We tried to cover her mouth again, but we didn't want to dislocate it. We couldn't do it. She was full of scratches and strange symbols all over her body. I ran out of the house to find the closest church. When I got to the car and turned it on, flies came out of nowhere. I couldn't even see the steering wheel.
I'm sorry. This is like piñata.
Right? Literally what I thought of. With the moths, right?
Yeah.
Piñata is what it is, yeah. I got out of the car and I had to run instead. When I found the closest church, the people inside didn't want to get the priest, but he came anyway. He agreed to help. He came back to our place. He said my mom was too far gone and that he wasn't the right person for this job.
That's what I would have said.
No.
I thought I was trying to get out of it.
No, he helped them anyway, but I would have been
Can it
this
be
is
me?
actually not
this is above my pay grade.
Above my scope of practice. I literally
It
cannot
would be
do this.
unethical if I tried to do this.
No. This priest was going to try and help them. So he said he wasn't the right person for this, but there was no time to get anyone else. He was going to try and help. As he threw holy water on her, it looked like it was burning her. She screamed in Spanish, but then in English and Latin, languages that she had never learned. He asked us to repeat his prayer, and when we did, things got even more strange. The room began to fill up with some kind of mist, and it got so much colder. The bed started to levitate. When we stopped, the bed fell. He kept praying. The demon started yelling out all the sins we have committed. I'm not going to repeat them because it's embarrassing.
I want to know, but okay.
I would have wanted to know, honestly.
Yeah.
It yelled, even though my mom's jaw was dislocated, which sounds painful.
Demons don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
That's
not their body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're just
they don't give a shit.
it.
Yeah. The lights went out and the priest told us, keep praying no matter what. The demon's going to try and confuse us. We told him we would keep praying. But then the closet doors started shaking. We tried to ignore the sounds until we heard my mom's voice from inside the closet asking for help.
What?
Begging us to let her out.
Oh my God. But she wasn't in the closet, right?
No.
Oh my God.
It's the demon playing tricks on them.
Right.
My little sister ran towards the closet and we held her back.
I'm
it's
sorry.
Always the little kids.
Yes. I was going to say, like in all the scary movies, it's like some kid who doesn't realize, or like a zombie movie, let's say, and they drop their toy and they just have to go get their toy. You know, like it's always that.
Yeah. The door opened slowly. It looked like my mom.
Oh my
Her
God.
hands were reaching out to us.
Oh no.
And again, we held my little sister back from going to her. The priest yelled, no, that's not her. That's not your mom. Keep praying. And we did for 10 hours.
Oh my God.
After those 10 hours, I saw my mom's eyes. It was her again. It was really her. Her skin looked better, injuries aside. We were all exhausted.
Her jaw.
I wasn't sure. Huh?
Oh, her jaw's still broken.
Her skin looked better except for her jaw. Just
her jaw was still lack, but her skin was no longer dry. So all's good here. This is scary.
It is. Her skin looked better, injuries aside. We were exhausted. I wasn't sure the demon was gone or if this was another trick. The priest told me it wasn't like the movies. Sometimes the demon just leaves. And he was pretty sure that it was gone now. My mom started crying. My little sister ran to her. And then the rest of us followed.
Watch it come back.
We cried together.
I said, watch it come back.
Watch her start cussing them out.
No,
this is for realsies.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
We cried together. The father told us to make sure to go to church and confess all the sins the demon was yelling at us that we committed. At the time of me sending the story in, things are so much better for us. My mom is almost back to full health, and we did go to church. Okay. I just want to add one last thing for anyone listening. If you don't believe in demons, know that they are real. I don't like it. One bit. Although that was very creepy.
It was creepy.
I was listening to it and I was like, oh my God, what was that sound? I better not have some crazy ass dream tonight.
You probably will.
Yeah. As long as it's not like that one other dream that still haunts me to this day.
No.
No, that was terrible. But yeah, those are the stories that I have for this episode.
Amazing. I really liked them.
Yeah, that last one, I don't know if I'll recover from that.
What a perfect way to wrap up the spooky month, although it's always spooky around here anyway.
It is always spooky around here, but next episode we'll go back to a true crime and a spooky story. So I forgot what I was going to say. There was something, by the time this comes out, I will have sent out discussion questions for Piñata, and then we should be able to record that episode, the Piñata episode. I like the book though, but I don't want to say more until we record.
Me either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you have spooky recommendations?
I do. Let me find my notes. I think I did take notes on them.
Okay. Well, while you're searching, I can share mine.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I'm finally on season 11 of The Walking Dead, the final season.
The last season. Wow.
Yeah, the last season. I didn't know that it was filming so recently. Like season 11 got held up by COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I thought it ended way before that. And I mean, I don't even think that by the end of season 11, I don't think anything's wrapped up. And that's why there's all these spinoffs.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's a little like not satisfying. It would have been nice to get an answer like, why did the outbreak happen? But you know
that's
what
the prequel is for, right?
Yeah. And from what I've read, they actually don't really go into it.
Okay. Wow. That's
I think
cool.
So we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue checking out some of the spin-offs, and I might, just because again I love zombie stuff. And
yeah,
this season 11 has felt a little like it's dragging on.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
And you know, now that I've I'm like almost done with it. I have 4 episodes left, but it really feels like it should have been 2 separate seasons. After a while, I did some reading, and it looks like it was meant to be 2 separate seasons because there's like these 2 arcs going on, these 2 bad guys, and it doesn't make sense to have like normally it's like one bad group. Or one bad thing happening per season. Like, you know, season 3, the prison, season 2, the search for Sophia, the farm, and then like they run into the governor, you know,
Negan or whatever his name is.
Yeah, like there's like one thing going on with a bunch of little like B plots, but like this was like 2 different things that the main have to like randomly meet. Yeah. So that felt a little like, I'm like, why are these group of people even here? The Reapers, like if anyone has watched, I don't know who else has watched.
I don't know.
Yeah. You don't know. Although I will say, I think because, you know, I like rewatching shows. If I do rewatch, I think after this, it'll only be seasons 1 through like 6. Because even the Negan things get a little like they go on too long for me. I'm like, and I thought season 9 wasn't that bad for losing the main character and then the other main character. Like, I didn't think it was that bad for that happening. It was pretty good. 10, I didn't think was that bad either. Honestly, they were not bad at all, especially if we're trying to continue on without like the main characters that we all know, like Rick, Michonne, Carl, you know?
Yeah.
So it's honestly not that bad. But 11, I'm like, man, when is this going to end? But, you know, I love zombie things. So I'm going to finish this season for sure. And I don't know if I'll continue with the spinoff. But again, those seasons 1 through 5, top notch zombie things, you know? Yeah. So that's still my recommendation because that's still the only thing I've been watching. It took over my life while I was sick, and it's not healthy how quickly I got to season 11. I will admit.
That was a little too fast. Definitely.
Yeah, it's quite unhealthy. So yeah, that's all I've been watching.
Okay, well, on to my spooky recommendations. I finished an audiobook and a book on Kindle, both from Libby. So I listened to Human Sacrifices by Maria Fernanda Ampuero.
Well, that's on my TBR. How was it?
I saw on Storygraph that it was on your TBR. It was really good. I rated it 5 out of 5. Let me read the synopsis.
Okay.
Well, it's like the short stories.
Okay.
Yeah. So a groundbreaking voice in contemporary Latin American literature, Maria Fernanda Ampuero's writing is raw and savage as she confronts machismo, inequity, and violence in this acclaimed short story collection. An undocumented woman answers a job posting only to find herself held hostage. A group of outcasts obsess over boys drowned while surfing, and an unhappy couple finds themselves trapped in a terrifying maze. With scalpel-like precision, Ampuero considers the price paid by those on the margins so that the elite might lounge comfortably, considering themselves safe in their homes. Simultaneously terrifying and exquisite, Human Sacrifices is, quote, tropical gothic at its finest. Decay and oppression underlie our humid and hostile world, where working class women and children are consistently the weakest links in a capitalist economy. Against this backdrop of corrosion and rot, these 12 stories contemplate the nature of exploitation and abuse, illuminating the realities of those society consumes for its own pitiless ends. I thought I said pitiless ends, but no, pitiless ends.
Both would make sense, I think.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure which one it was. It was very good. I think the first story was the most intense and captivating. I will say, I don't know if I like listening to short stories because it's easy to miss the beginning of one and the ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I was still good. I still rated it 5 out of 5, but I think I would have preferred reading it than listening to it. But it was scary. Like the first one was scary, and there's like a lot of like, I mean, I think anybody that listens to Espooky Tales would enjoy this book because there's a lot of like folklore myths that are tied into the stories. Like El Silbón, I recognized him.
Yes.
And there's like just a lot of that you kind of like recognize if you're like into Latin American folklore. Very good. And yeah, like the description says, it's like themes of like feminism, machismo. It's like, you know, the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah.
It's like creepy, and the men are the real creeps, are the real creepy thing kind of way. You know what I mean? Also, I finished Loteria finally.
Oh, I love that. I'm still in the same place I was like 2 months ago.
I have most of my favorite stories are in the beginning. But I still tabbed some of the later ones, and the last one is a good way to wrap it up.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't tie into any other stories, but it's based on the actual loteria.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, how cool. Okay.
Very good. Also, like, what else is there to say? Okay. And then I read Delicate Condition, which I guess that one of the AHS American Horror Story shows is based on, which I didn't watch because I don't watch those. It's because it's the one that Kim Kardashian is in, and I was like,
that's even.
It's not that I am a Kardashian hater, but that's besides the point. It's that she's not a good actress.
I was gonna say, it's just that nothing I've seen. She's like just not a good actress, and I'm just not gonna subject myself to that. Even though people say there's not good acting in The Walking Dead, it's fine.
I never felt that. I feel like it has to be real, like wooden and stiff for me to actually notice. And that's what Kim Kardashian is like. But she acts. And she can't act, So I'm not going to watch something that... And Emma Roberts, too, she can only play one character, which is herself, a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I can't picture her as this character. I can't. Okay, let me read the description of that one. It was good, but also very intense. Like, I could see it being triggering to people. Oh, I didn't even say who this one was by. This is by Danielle Valentine. I guess she writes YA. This is her first like adult novel.
Oh, interesting.
So, description. The push meets the silent patient. I haven't read either of those. In a gripping thriller that follows a woman convinced a sinister figure is going to great lengths to make sure her pregnancy never happens, while the men in her life refuse to believe a word she says. Anna Alcott is desperate to have a family, but as she tries to balance her increasingly public life as an indie actress with the grueling IVF journey, she starts to suspect that someone is going to great lengths to make sure that never happens. Crucial medicines are lost. Appointments get swapped without her knowledge. Cryptic warnings have her jumping at shadows, and despite everything she's gone through to make this pregnancy a reality, not even her husband is willing to believe that someone is playing twisted games with her. Then her doctor tells her she's had a miscarriage, except Anna's convinced that she's still pregnant despite everything the grave-faced men around her claim. She can feel the baby moving inside her, can see the strain it's taking on her weakening body. Vague warnings become direct threats as someone stalks her through the bleak ghost town of the snowy Hamptons. As her symptoms and sense of danger grow even more horrifying, Anna can't help but wonder what exactly she's carrying inside of her and why no one will listen when she says something is horribly, painfully wrong. So it's like, I feel like it's so intense in so many different areas, right? Like if you went through fertility and IVF, like it could be triggering in that sense. If you got pregnant and had a physically difficult pregnancy, a lot of it, yes, triggering. Because it's like body horror, and the Kindle version, the digital book, whatever, it has an author's note at the end where she describes like scenes she wanted to put in but didn't end up in there, and like why she wrote certain things. Very interesting to read. And she's like, everything, the body horror that's described in the book is based on real symptoms, but just like worsened. But they're based in reality. And like it was a lot, but it was good. It's like twist after twist. When I was reading the reviews, a lot of people didn't like how it ended, but it was surprising. It was a twist.
What's this book called again?
It's called Delicate Condition.
Okay, I'm gonna add it to my TBR as well.
You should.
You know what I thought about that I need to start doing? Putting our recommendations that we say at the end of every episode as a thing on Patreon, like a free member, like all members, not like behind a paywall, but if you're a free member, you can see this post and you can comment on it.
Oh yeah,
and just listing them all out that way per episode. I feel like I should do that.
I thought that I had told you should do that.
You had, and now I'm presenting it as if I thought of it myself.
This fucking bitch. I fucking told her.
You did. I forgot you told me. That's probably where I thought about it.
And you're like, good idea.
Like I randomly remembered, like I thought of the idea, but like you implanted it in my brain.
You're right. This was a team effort.
You know what's a good idea?
Wow. So yeah, like body psychological horror, medical horror also, and like very like the real horror is men.
Not again. Oh no.
But like, you know, like being gaslit and not listened to, not validated.
No, 100%.
You know?
I was gonna say this sounds very like the typical, like the husband in a horror movie doesn't believe everything going on.
Yeah, it was that. But also he was so much worse.
Involved. Yeah, I was gonna say, because if it's not that, then they're involved in whatever's happening.
A lot of people said it was
my God, like that story. Sorry, are you gonna say more about the book?
A little bit more. I was just gonna say a lot of people compared it to like Rosemary's Baby, which I haven't read or seen the movie, but I know a lot about. I was actually thinking
of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it also reminded me of Haunting of Alejandra.
Also came to mind.
Yes. Yeah. And the reason I think I rated this 4 out of 5 because some parts felt like a little bit drawn out, but I mean, it's because she keeps experiencing the same thing and then question her reality. So at the same time, it wasn't too much like of a minus, you know? And then it was also witchy and culty. So,
Oh, cool. All right. I'm for sure adding that to my TBR right now. And if you have Storygraph and you want to follow us, you can. We're on there.
Yes. And you know what also I love about Storygraph is the personalized preview that it gives you. Have you seen that? Yeah. I love that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Although I just one more thing to add, unless you want. It's not about my recommendations anymore, but I made a TikTok I made an Excel sheet, a spreadsheet of all my books because I didn't know that on Storygraph you can put that you own it.
Yes, you can.
I didn't know that.
To tell you.
But that would mean I would have to add like 80 something books onto my Storygraph and then mark that I own all of them, which maybe would have been less work than doing a spreadsheet. I'm not sure anymore, but I did a spreadsheet because I wanted to see how many books I owned and how many I read from the books that I actually own because I realized I have not been reading those for years.
What's the ratio?
I think I read 46 out of 88.
That's actually not bad.
It's not bad. My friend told me she hasn't read like 60 something of her books.
Oh,
yeah. So I was like, okay, not too bad. But then on the comments, somebody told me about Fable. Have you heard of Fable?
Yes, but not a lot. I am part of a mom Facebook group and someone mentioned Fable on there, but I forgot to check it out. I checked out Storygraph instead because they posted pictures of like the Storygraph like wrap up that's gives you, like, what
I love. I love the little graphics and the wrap up, the monthly wrap ups, and there's different graphics you could like generate, like your ratings or summary, your yearly, like I love that. But then on Fable, I guess it's like more like a feed like Instagram. Let me find what the person told me it was like. Yeah, they said it's like Instagram for books and you can read other people's reviews. And then there's different tabs and you could do like your TBR currently reading and also like the ones you own to keep track of the books that you own. And then it says you can keep track of genres and authors and stuff like that. It says something about it. You can have a super cute bio. It gives you a super cute bio that changes every time you enter a new book you finished. And you can also look up books that you're interested in. I mean, it sounds like Storygraph, like similar. But I want to download it just to see what it's like.
Okay. I just don't know if I want another app.
I know, but I like Storygraph because of the graphics.
Yeah, that's what got me too. No, I was going to say what that book is reminding me of is this horrible thing that I don't remember. No, I think MJ said it to us but a TikTok of a lawyer talking about
the 17 diapers thing.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I haven't seen that. Wow. You know what? I've been sick and ignoring all of my social media. So I'm very behind on everything. But no, this woman that was being drugged by her husband and then trafficked.
Oh, bitch, I fucking sent you that.
No,
sorry. No, I didn't send you that. I told you about it on Espooky Tales like months ago. Not months ago. No, sorry, not months ago. It was when we talked about the woman from Venezuela. Yes.
That was a while ago.
Yeah. And the one, she was like horribly abused and then became like an advocate and a lawyer herself.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
On that episode, I told you about the French woman who was drugged by her husband in France, and like 50 something men basically raped her while she was drugged that night.
Oh,
yeah. That's what MJ had sent us.
Did tell me. And then MJ sent me the TikTok about it.
Yeah.
Us on the group chat. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what that book was reminding me of though, that you mentioned.
It's not that bad.
Not that bad. That's good to know.
Like
That's
there's
good.
no like, like
at
sexual
the end,
assault.
Real life is going to be worse.
The real horror is men from real life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's true.
Hashtag not all men.
Stay mad about it.
I'm just kidding.
What is that thing that people say when they say not all men? Not all men, but I guarantee you almost every woman you know has a story of either being assaulted or like in some form 100%. Or way harassed.
I don't know any women that after the age of 12 didn't experience some sort of harassment.
Yeah.
Or worse. Yeah.
But somehow it's never, a man that you know in life, or, it's not their friend. Like, okay, then who is a bitch?
Right. We know.
So get mad.
Okay.
Stay mad. I don't care. Okay, I'm sorry.
Are we at the end of the episode?
We are. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know I
do
can
you
go
want to
on
do like a
about
quick
this.
twirl around to show your wings?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me
let's
move
do
my
that.
chair.
Yeah. So for those that are not on YouTube, Carmen is going to show us her costume. Again, she's a mariposa del barrio. And look at her. Look at her fly. No, let's stop. Okay. We're at the end of the episode.
Let me get settled, please. Get back in.
Yeah. Well, while you settle yourself,
I'm here.
If anyone wants to check us out over on Patreon, I will, for everyone to see, not behind a paywall, we'll start putting the spooky recommendations from every episode moving forward. I'm not going back and checking all those out. I can't possibly do that. It's
maybe I'll compile a list for you.
Maybe. Hard maybe. But those will be up on Patreon. If you want to become a paid member of Patreon, if you're at the $1 tier, you get a shout out that I have to record. I'm so sorry. I'm behind on that. There's like 2 new members that I have to include in the shout out that we do that I am behind on. But also we just produced an episode where we shared 2 creepy Reddit stories that had to do with mimics, both horrible. Under the bed stories, just so scary.
Oh yeah,
you forgot. No.
At first I thought you meant under the bed metaphorically, and then I forgot I was literally under the bed.
yes, that was creepy. And then we talked a little bit about Rug Lady.
That was fun.
The Rug Lady saga on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that was the most recent bonus episode. We do at least one a month. We want to do more. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. But we do have plans to talk about other things. And we're always going to have like a scary story, urban legend type thing. But also sometimes we're just going to share like either true crime things going on, like in the world, or paranormal news is another thing we do on there. One thing I want to do that I just haven't done, but like movie reviews.
I was just going to tell you the other day that we should do that.
We should. Yeah, it would be fun. And I still don't know how to do movie nights again. I don't want to do it the way I was doing it before because that made me mad, and I haven't done it since 2 years ago or 3 now. I don't remember.
Probably 3 now.
But I want to figure out. I want to say Discord is going to be the place to do it, but I'm not sure yet.
Oh.
So more to come on that. But like, there's just so many things I want to do. It's a little time, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But all right, I think that's everything for this episode. Anything else to add?
If you hear mom calling you from the closet and she's possessed, it's not her.
Yeah, don't open the closet door. Don't go hugging her. It's not her. All right, stay spooky. We'll catch everyone next time. Bye.